Hello YouTube. I would like to just show you one of my Nintendo Entertainment System consoles and the options you have to hook it up, and a little something extra in this video, as I had a really old TV and needed an additional adapter back in the day. So here we go. The first common way to hook this up was with the RF. Again, pause that. The RF modulator. That's this thing. Usually your cable or antenna line would go in that end. And this end would screw to the back of your TV. So when you shut off the NES, if you had like cable, which was always on channel 3 or 4 back then, shut off the NES, go back to whatever was on cable. Now, a lot of TVs back then did not have this rounded coaxial connection. They actually had antenna screws. So you had this, one of the things broke off of it, but it had one of these little cloth things on both sides. So you would have to screw that to the end of this. So that would just go on like that. Funny thing about my phone will not be able to pick up what's written on here, but it actually says property of cable TV on it. I'm sure they don't want it back. Anyways, so have the other end go into the back. Depending where you lived, you'd either set the switch to channel 3 or 4. So that was the first option. Now, if you were lucky enough to have a TV with the RCA inputs, actually output, these are an output because they're sending a signal out. Wait a minute, let me correct this. If the TV had RCA inputs, that's what I should have said. You could use this, and I have no idea. The yellow one is video, and the red one is audio. A lot of TVs were mono back then. And even if they were stereo, usually the one of the RCA audio jacks was labeled as, left/mono, even though they're using the color for the right audio channel on the NES. So you would just plug it into the jack and set mono, and plug that into the other end of the TV. But I just really wanted to show this off, just to show how some of us needed this. So even if I didn't have the Nintendo, I'd need this for the VCR. That's how. Now we all have an idea of how old I am. I was actually born in March of 1985. Some months, a little bit before this actually debuted. So this console is retired. But it was a birthday present to my father, so we hung on to it. And even though I don't use the RF thing anymore, I have more of these than I have NES consoles. I only have 2 NES consoles, and I have like 3 of those. I don't know why, I just do. They just found me. Right, well, that's it. Over this console, when I do plug it in, it will play Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, though. That cartridge always works. That's interesting.